I grew up in Drouin watching, idolising footy, cricket, you know, in particular those two sports from summer to winter. And legends of the club that we played with and for, we just wanted to be like them.
Cricket, again, compared to footy, you don't get the guys that are changing clubs. You've got your mates, you're there to achieve something year in, year out. You've got your guys that you know are going to be around the club and want to do it for the long haul. It just gets buy-in from everyone.
Hanging out with your mates, enjoy the challenge of beating the opposition. Love cricket, always have.
I just love going to the cricket. You know, it's for us it's a day out.
And a lot of those boys I'd actually watched grow up too. You know, from junior cricket, junior football, some of them, not all of those, but yeah. So I'd you know, Saturdays were an outlet for us, something different.
Oh, just growing up, like we're all from obviously country towns, so it was always footy and cricket. And cricket in summer, there's not a better way to spend your Tuesday, Thursday nights down at training, having a beer after training with your mates. It's basically all about your mates.
Yeah, Trevor and I guess Blair said, come down to Drouin, because I was teaching them at the time. And they were in year 10. They come down to Drouin, I said, rightio. So I rock up and it's wet, and Aussie's coaching, and he's doing some indoor stuff in the back of Bellbird, and Hursty's taking all the names. Right, so I thought, oh, they've got an actual plan. I can see the balls because they're tennis balls. We're doing some reflex stuff, so it was actually a bit of fun. And then we went to Melbourne and did some sessions, so I could see the ball. So I guess local, couple of good blokes that I got to know much more after teaching them. And I don't think I could have lived it down if I went out to Laura, so I told the Laura boys thanks, but no, I'm going to stick at my local.
You know, we all grew up playing together for Drouin. You know, retention was the key, not recruitment for us at the club. It was about our friends, it was about our family, it was about our mates. You know, it was about the volunteers and the community. It was us against them.
I'm pretty sure it's 6 or 7 grand finals that we've lost before I've won one. And adding into that, I lost a under-14s grand final and an under-16s.
In those years, we lost 4 grand finals out of 4. I think it was. I think we lost 4 before we won one.
One in particular where we got the side out. It was a grand final. We got the side out for 120 or something like that by just after lunch, and it looked like, you know, wow, you know, we were actually going to get this one. And bugger me dead, we were 8 or 9 out by the end of play for only sort of half the runs. That was just devastating. That was sort of the lowest feeling I think the team had, and personally I had as well. I was so disappointed for them.
I was starting to think I was never going to win one.
I always remember the pre-season, I guess, with Clint really getting us all on the same page.
It's crucial that you have 11 contributors.
Early on in the year, grabbing about 15 or 16 of us, basically saying, we're the guys, he's going to back us in. Let's do this together, let's get on the road, get on the ride and really work hard.
At any time your moment can come, whether that's a catch, a run out, stopping the ball. You know, they're critical moments and everyone's involved in the game, and that's what team is.
09-10, all I just remember is Sharpie smoking runs. And we always had something to bowl to for once. That's all I really remember, myself and Jacques, just 2 younger ones to the side, just open the bowling. That's all I remember, was always a bowler's pact. How it should be. Never really liked batsmen because they kept losing grand finals for us.
I don't think there was ever a thought that we wouldn't get to the grand final. And you know, there was a fair bit of confidence around the club that we had the players to do it. What we were driving was a real an element of respect, but also team first, and that, you know, effort is key. When you get out in that field, you know, we're fully committed to the cause.
Originally, I don't think Mum was in the kitchen, but I suppose playing Country Week and GCL, and she saw some of the shit jobs that some of the clubs were providing us with. And then not only that, I reckon she came, was it Latrobe? I think it was Latrobe in the Central Gippy, and they just put on an absolute feast. We had party pies and all this sort of stuff, and pretty much from then on, Joan's like, I could do that.
But you know, I like to think our lunches were the best of all the lunches, and that's not just Joan. That was, you know, Karen, Proctor, and the gardeners, and Brad Glovers with the pikelets. So that was all, you know, all those different people that were involved behind the scenes made, I guess, the lunches something that other clubs would talk about.
We're definitely known for a long time of always having the best afternoon teas. Joan, the leader of the pack, and yeah, Karen and my mum as well, always there to help, as much as Joan would let him sometimes, but it was her baby. But
they were my boys, put it that way. Yeah, all Karen's and my boys. And
it just gave us that whole team mentality.
Semi-finals are always really difficult to win. You only got one innings each. You finish on top, but still you've got to win that one time.
The semi-final brings back some really good memories.
Saturday we batted. I think we were 4 or 5 down for 120. It was a little bit rain interrupted.
Get bucketed down Saturday afternoon.
I remember being not out overnight on the Saturday when the rain kicked in.
And the pitch was wet as anything.
The Sunday they had every single thing that the Shire could put onto the pitch to dry it out. They had hair dryers, they had gas heaters, they were setting fire to it, I think, at one stage, just to dry out this wicket so that we could get a game.
And then we were back again on Monday to finish the game.
Basically got forced into playing.
The ground was genuinely dangerous.
On Saturday, we were probably destined to get 250 plus, which is always a great final score.
We get rolled literally in the next 20 overs.
It was quite a hard slog.
There's still an element of doubt because, you know, they can come out and bat, but, you know, the pitch was just crazy, and, you know, I remember Simon bowled the first ball and it pitched just a good length, and I think it went to second slip or something. It was crazy, you know. Yeah,
I think Mark Jackson, young fast bowler, got the first wicket of the day. And then, yeah, Simon Gardner, sort of first full year at the club in Division 1, absolutely wreaked havoc.
I got started though with 2 for 10, and then he cleaned up the tail after that. It was a long tail, but yeah, he's good. Took a lot of poles that year.
Pong took 8 for 10, Jacko got the other 2, and it was all over within an hour and a half, something like that.
I'm not sure anyone ever take 8 for 10 in a semi-final ever again, but yeah, we'll leave it for Pong that he did the work, not the pitch. I remember actually feeling, you know, oh, we're there again. It's like, here we are, knock knock, Drouin's another grand final. But I think this one was different, you know. There was a real sense that we belonged there, and that, you know, maybe it was our turn.
I suppose in the back of your mind was that, you know, we'd been there before with a similar side and we hadn't done it.
Without knowing the exact percentages, but 70, 80% of the time you win the toss, bat in the grand final, you win. Buddy lost the toss. Good one, bud.
Every cricket side wants to bat first in the grand final, but with that, you know, it didn't dwell. I think the group were like, okay, well, you know, let's do this. We've got a job to do.
From the get-go, we were on song. You could just tell how we approached our bowling, the team plan, dot balls, build pressure, bowling partnerships, all the cliches, but it just started for us from the word go.
We had a pretty good game plan, just bowling outside of some annoying teams, not giving them anything to hit, setting good fields.
Using our team first mentality and complete buy-in, you know, we had 11 contributors on that field, and that was the #1 driver of I guess, our culture.
The one turning moment was when Lassie came out and started whacking us around a little bit.
Although we were on top, they had a little bit of shift of momentum. And I remember pulling Mark in and a couple of the bowlers, and I was like, look, just stick to the plan. You know what we do, let's pitch it up, outside off stump. And I'm pretty sure that Mark come out first over after lunch. It might have been the second or third, but it's pretty soon. And Lassie hits him for a 4, smashing him. You know. Well, the next ball, Mark bowls at his head.
Playing across the line, he skied one between fine leg and the keeper, and
I just saw it going there, so I just started sprinting.
Straight away, the determination of Buddy to run back with it.
Buddy took a screamer of a catch over the top of the keeper, running back.
It's the best catch I've ever taken today. It was through sheer adrenaline, and to a degree, I was scared of this guy getting ahead of us, so I just had to take that catch.
And take a diving catch, 3/4 of the way to the boundary. Just meant it was really our day.
And from then on, they basically just limped through, didn't they?
Once we got them out, they wanted to chase down the runs without losing wickets, so it was pretty good.
The most crucial role that a guy played was Brad Glover opening the batting, and he'd only made 117 runs all year. But I thought it was really his moment.
Get back in the rooms after having rolled in for 120 and being none for on the board with a couple 20 runs or so was positive. The boys are up and about, but I know in the back of all our minds was we've lost from here before, and we weren't going to let this happen again.
Coming back on the Sunday, there was only one result in my mind that was going to happen, and to chase the 120 odd down, two wickets down with Sharpie being an absolute freak.
Pity one of us couldn't hit the winning runs though. I think winning runs came from a no ball from George. Buckets decided to call a no ball with 1 run to win. Like he could have let that one go, couldn't you think? Because I was facing the next ball.
When we finally won, we were just over the moon, couldn't believe it.
Especially winning like a game, a grand final when I know the club's tried, we failed for 10 years or so. So win that first flag in 10 years, it's probably, as far as Premiership goes for me, it's probably number 1, because it's a A-grade flag, so you'll always have that. You'll always have your mates. It's right up there at the top for me.
Like the bit that sticks in my mind is going out on the ground at the presentation, and just hugging, the guys around that had done well, all of them, and just the celebrations when we're actually presented the cup and presented with the medallions, just feeling so proud.
The difference about that year compared to others, and I know most people say, oh, Sharpie made thousands of runs, but he actually only made 300. But we had 11 players make over 100 runs. That's a substantial amount of runs and contributors across the board. I think we had, around about 7 or 8 genuine wicket takers, people that can play their roles. And the difference between our season and the rest, I think, was that. We weren't reliant on Sharpie making 100 in the grand final, although he obviously had an amazing match. But there's still a sense of the team is first, Someone else can do it. And that season, it wasn't up to Dale to take 5 wickets. It wasn't up to Mark or Simon to take all the wickets. We shared the load. And the statistics really show that throughout the season. And we were a complete team and very hard to play against.
In the end, it probably wasn't as important to win every match. It was the time spent outside of cricket was just as important. But, we play cricket for a reason, that's to win premierships.
I think that day symbolised family to me, honestly. To see, Wayne, Joan, my mum, Trev's mum, Jen, the look on their faces, that's what cricket is for me. They're moments that you cherish forever.
As a collective, Real good blokes, real good bunch of blokes. Good bunch of blokes to win our flag with.
The guys that I've played with, I can genuinely say, are all very good mates of mine, and they still are. So to go through that with your mates, achieving the ultimate success after being so close for so long, just elation, just special memories. Yeah, the celebrations were just everything I wanted them to be.
The reason I keep playing at the Drouin Cricket Club, the main reason would be mates. I couldn't imagine playing against my mates. I'm a loyal person. Like you get there and it's just where cricket's played for me. Yeah, there's not much more than that.
And right now, you know, sitting here doing this is one of the greatest satisfactions I've had, because my friends enabled me and this club to celebrate this wonderful occasion, and they mean the world to me, and I can't thank them enough. Yeah.
Come on!